So, good afternoon. We've got just a few of you on at the moment, but I know lots of people are going to be watching the recording. I've muted everybody because there's a lot of information to get through, and I'm going to be asking you to possibly make notes because it will be to your benefit. And it's all about how are some people really successful in this business? And it sometimes appears that we all have periods of time where we feel we're not performing the way we feel we should be performing. And why does that happen? So I'm going to go through various things and I'm going to show you various things that is useful. The first thing which I kind of intimated in the promo was that we've all got the same company, Utility Warehouse. We've all got the two CEOs, Stuart Burnett and Andrew Lindsay and Justin Bazzino and Paul Stevens and everybody else. All the people that support us, we've all got that. We've all got the same partner portal. We've all got all the trainings available to us and all the learning stuff that's available to us. In fact, there is absolutely mounds and mounds of information. I think where success comes in is some people really say, I'm going to really make an effort to learn. I'm going to make an effort to listen. And we hear all the time that we have two ears and one mouth. And here's me doing all the talking at the moment. But in reality, it's about using stuff in that order and really paying attention. In my early days, I felt I was like a sponge and I couldn't absorb enough information. I wanted to know everything that was possible. I absorbed masses of personal development. I would travel very far and wide to get information. In fact, travel was never an inhibitor for me wanting to learn. I think if the pandemic and the lockdown was a negative, it's been a positive for many things, but if it was a negative, it's made people lazy. It's made people think that all they need to do is just switch on and it'll be there and it will come to them, and not necessarily they go to it. And this is a great means, but it's not everything. We often learn best when we're surrounded by real people. In the days when we used to have classroom training, invariably, delegates would say to me, they often picked up things from other delegates, other partners. Unfortunately, through this method, we don't have that unless we directly ask people privately by message. So I think what we've got to do now is make ourselves even more willing to seek out, to become that independent distributor. So what today is primarily going to be about is showing you where to get information. And I am absolutely sure that there are a lot of people that they have no idea what's available to them. So I'm going to share my screen lots, which means I won't be seeing you, but I'm going to be helping you. So I would bullet point things down where to find stuff. So any moment now, you're going to see my partner portal. Okay, we've all got similar. The big thing at the moment is the countdown is on to power up. All right, so lots going on, loads of promotions happening. And that is an indicator too of success. And how do promotions happen? They happen because people get into mass activity. They actually absolutely do more than. I'm going to say before I show you stuff, people that are achieving are not just ticking along. They're not just doing what they would always do. Maybe just make the odd phone call a couple of times a week or something like that. They are doing mass activity. If they're doing neighbour letters, they're probably doubling that or trebling it. Whatever happens, they're doing more of it. And it's a bit like, as Robert Barra says, it's like going to the gym. You don't get a perfect body by attending the gym once a week. You have to go regularly. You have to do more of it. You have to do something virtually every single day to get better and better. And this is no different. It wouldn't matter what job you're in. When I'm bringing a new person in, and I've just done a fast start plan today, and this is so important for people, I said to the lady, I don't, if I said to you, do you want to work this business slow or fast? You're very unlikely to say, I want to work it slow. Who would? Of course they wouldn't. Yes, steady Eddie can be good, but it will never get you the kind of results you want quicker. There's a lady in the business called Sam Earnshaw. She got to senior group leader in under 4 years because she said, do you know what? Why did I want to wait for bigger money to help me achieve the things I want to achieve? Why wouldn't I want to do it faster and get it faster? And actually, that's really, really true. So, excuse me, one of the things I can pass on to everybody is don't copy what I did the first 2 years. By doing one customer a month, I was treating this just like a hobby. And so I would get hobby money. And that's a fact. Okay. When I made a decision, and please hear those words, you've probably heard them a few times. It was the moment I made a decision that I wanted to be successful. That decisive thought was, it's going to happen now. And now I want to do everything possible to be successful. So what were the things that I did? Well, I went to lots of trainings. In a moment, I'm going to show you where you can get lots of training. I went to lots of opportunity presentations, which we now call buzzes. You cannot beat, I mean, it's a great name now, Buzz, because it does give you that. And you've got a chance to what we call window dress with other people and associate with other people, get ideas. It's absolutely fabulous to have that actual personal contact with folk. I upped my game on personal development. Whatever I was doing, I did more than. I did much more than, and I know that anyone successful in the business is the same. So it's all about going into more activity. So let's show you some things that are really useful. So in the downside of our portals, there is something called live training and events. I'm going to click this one first because it's quite quick. And of course, there are these buzzes going on. All right. And, book your free seat, get yourself there. There's stuff that you can book for power up sessions, but there's other things too. Okay. So if you're already an established distributor and you want to learn how to mentor others, look, there's free mentor training. Book it. It's absolutely, let's click on it and see what happens. Here you are. You put in whatever there is. It doesn't matter because it's virtual. And there we are. There's one on Saturday the 15th from 10 till 10:30, just half an hour. How good is that? Anyone can find half an hour. There's one on Wednesday the 18th. These are brilliant. They're not 6 miles away because actually they're at the end of a screen, but there's real live people just like yourself as well as trainers there. Okay, so that is a really good thing. Let's go back, press the back button. Let's go back down to live training again. And now we're going to carry on. So let's show you some of the things that are here. Okay, so I won't click on each and every one. Hey, do you want to get better at signing up and getting multi-service customers? There's a training. There's a training on recruiting, on goal setting. So if you're a team leader, there's one on getting to senior team leader. If you are a future team leader, there's one to getting to team leader. Right at the beginning, I don't say to people, just do the online training. I, in my Fast Start planner, telling them, please book getting started, because I don't want to be the sole entity of somebody that is training someone new. I want them to get a range of feelings and experiences from many people, because it's better that we learn from many people, not just one. Okay, they will pick up all sorts of ideas. Absolutely brilliant. There is a telephone skills workshop. I would say every single partner should book this, and book it every so often, because just like anything else, if you do it enough, do you know what? It will become second nature, and nobody will decry you for booking on it several times. Now, the ones that are shaded in black, you can't book. Now, for me, quite rightly, they're saying, no, I can't book getting to future team leader at my stage. Now, why is getting to team leader and that one available? Because every so often I book these because I want to know what my team are receiving. That's a really good thing to do, to know what they're receiving, because it's evolving and improving all the time. So look, guys, all of this at your disposal, absolutely stunning. It's all free. Do you know this stuff costs fortunes outside in the real world? You pay fortunes for training. I went to the, I'll just stop the share a minute because I want to share this with lots of you. The previous Monday, I went with Shelley Barker to the Hampshire Buzz, and there was a special guest speaker, and he was brilliant. And his name was Cornell, and he was all about motivation and inspiration. And I actually thought he was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I've been invited to a training course for a day. Well, guess how much that is? It's not a whole day. It's £125 to have a bit more of what I already experienced. That's the kind of money people are paying. And we get it all for free. To a certain degree, I would say the fact that it's free, we become complacent. And actually, we shouldn't. We should actually say, do you know what? We should do more of it. So back to sharing my screen. Excuse me. Now I'm going to go back. And I want now to go to the learning portal, because I think this is fabulous. Now, you're probably going to smile because you'll say, doing appointments, signing up a customer, what, has Lisa never done this? Well, actually, I've done these lots. I tend to redo them about once a year, again, to see what new people are receiving. I make sure they always do the first 6 modules. It's always, you know, there's 6 of them, and I make sure they do it. But now I'm going to show you there's many training modules. But I'm going to show you stuff that I don't think many people move down and have a look at. So there's flying solo. How about getting appointments? Let's have a look at this one first. So we've got some real basics here. List building. Do you know what? I know that people don't do this, and I know they don't continue it. I absolutely know they don't. And I don't believe that everybody has looked at their mobile phone and rung every single person in there and said, can I have a practice? There's something new going on. Can I share it with you? I'd really value your opinion. Yeah. Scripts, using scripts. Now, if you go to those, I'm going to click on it, and you can download all the scripts. And there's little videos. And then there's more videos. Look at this. Conversation starters for after your training phase. I wonder how many of you clicked on each of these and had a look. Your warm list, calls from A to Z after an event on social media. recruiting, some final advice. There is absolutely loads. Look, secure a remote appointment. Introducing yourself as a partner. And there's more. Using the phone, remote signups. There's loads, this podcast. There is loads of stuff. I'm going to share something on the screen that isn't in there, and it's my own, but it has success. Let me just do a new share. So, any of you that know me in the teams over the years will know that since the year I began 20 years ago, this still holds true. And this is my version of how new people can begin. And I'm going to read it out, and I'm going to give the psychology, because actually this could be adapted as time goes on. So whenever you pick up the phone and you ring someone, you would say their name, and you do a quick bit of rapport. But then the next line is so vital. No matter where you are, whether you're experienced or not, listen, it's just a quick call. Please, you have to say that. If you don't, the other person thinks you're ringing up for a general chit chat, and you could be on there, especially if you're a woman. And can't we talk, ladies? You could be on there for half an hour to an hour if you don't say, listen, it's just a quick call. Now look at these words, okay, because they're slightly different to what the company says. I've just started a new venture. I'm in my training phase, and in order to complete my training, I need to book 6 practice appointments with, and you probably say the partner's name who's supporting you. It's all about practice for me, to get away from the theory. And I'd really value your opinion. So it's like being in the driving street with a driving instructor, because yes, there is theory, but actually the only way you're ever going to learn to drive is actually do it. And this is the same, and that's what this emphasizes. I'm looking to do these in an over the phone or over the internet presentation, and would you do me a massive favor and let us show it to you? Would you kindly be one of my important first 6 people to practice on? How wonderful for someone at the end of the phone to hear that you value their opinion and you think they're important. Some would say it's buttering them up. Maybe it is, but actually I'd love someone to say that they think that I'm important enough to be one of their first 6. They may say, what is it? What's it all about? Listen, if they've got an ounce of any common sense or logic, of course they're going to ask you what it's about. But there are swear words we shouldn't use. And we shouldn't use the words gas, electric, phone, broadband, insurance, mobile, because in those early stages, if you mention that, people will naturally put objections up. And they do so because they believe they know best. They don't know that there's an incredible discount club where you get money back. They don't know that there's an extra 10% off the phone and broadband. They don't know that there's £50 off. They don't know there's £400 to pay off early termination fees. They don't know any of that stuff, but they will already put an objection up. But by keeping it like this, you get in the door. Now look, here we go. If they push you, this is the golden answer. It's enough to satisfy their curiosity, I promise. Well, it's all about a discount club that gives you money back on your everyday spending. How would you like to get money back on your everyday spending? So are you free Monday or Tuesday? And you're giving them the alternative close to get them to fixate and look at their diary or their calendar. Because if I said to someone, are you free next week? They'll go, oh no, I'm really busy. You've got to give them the alternative close. And there's a strange thing that goes on, and it's weird. Don't ask me how the psychology happens. But if you give someone a choice and they can't do Monday or Tuesday, for some weird reason, they'll come back with, yeah, but I'm available on Wednesday or Friday. And now you're back in. So this stuff is key, and it can be adapted. All right. So I'm going to stop the share there and bring everyone back. And now I'm going to go into some of this, because I know people don't know about this stuff. Please, please have a good look at it. It is absolutely brilliant. It is so, so good. So let's look at using the phone. Or how about remote signups? Because we're doing lots of that, aren't we? So let's go there. Wow, there's a download guide. Let's have a look at the download guide. Make sure you play this. Here we go. A complete pointer on exactly what to do. It's all there. In fact, I would go so far as to say, do you know what? I think someone could literally start this business, and with some self-motivation and ingenuity, this is a business that literally you could do for yourself. Okay, I'm going to show you something now, though, that brings about success. And this is in the partner portal. And again, I'm not sure if you guys know about this. What a brilliant little sheet. Your activity ratios. Track the statistics of your calls, presentations, sign-ups over a period of time to develop your own set of averages. Remember, activity ratios can and will change, and I'd like to have a word in there, and improve as you grow in the business. So how much time do you spend each day prospecting? Booking appointments that go ahead, customers earned. Can I just say, if you don't track what you do, you've got no idea really of what you're doing and what you're achieving. So I'm now going to give you another major stepping stone that helped me. And it's a little example of something that was real, it happened. And I'm going to talk to you about achieving success. So many years ago, please don't ask me when, I think it could be about 16 years ago. I've never believed in door knocking, you know, tap, tap. And the reason being, I believe my home is my castle. And if I don't want somebody knocking on my door, why would I go and do it on somebody else's? You know, that integrity thing. Well, I remember Mr. Critchley saying to me one day, what are you going to do, Lisa, when you sign up, recruit a door knocker? And I remember thinking, oh no, I don't think I'll ever do that. Well, I certainly wouldn't go out with him. Well, now I'm going to tell you what happened. I just happened to recruit a door knocker who had been a door knocker for Scottish Power. And that's, of course, what he wanted to do. And he expected me to go out with him. And I can remember feeling absolutely terrified. Anyone else ever felt terrified? I was. You know, when you feel that sickness in your stomach and it's like, I don't want to do this. This is going against everything of my being. Well, I decided before I kind of plucked up the courage with him that I better sort of try something out. And what I'm about to tell you actually happened. And it was on a Saturday. So I got a sheet together, which was very similar to what you would call a 20K giveaway application form. But I did it on a large sheet and I had the 4 questions written at the top. And then I had, it had road name and I had numbers and I had yes, no, and then comments, which meant maybe something later. And I went and tried an area of Southbourne, houses that I call totally nice, middle of the road, absolutely homeowners. You couldn't, you know, and I didn't live far. If I wasn't recording this, I would say I would swear now how I felt. It was something me, okay? But I had my clipboard, I had my sheets, and I thought, I've got to do this. And I also had a bag slung over, and in it, in the old days, we had something called independence papers. Some of you might be old enough to remember them, but I thought the people that nobody's in, I might also make double of my activity and they can get one of those. So I remember knocking the doors. Some of them weren't in. And has anyone ever done this with neighbour letters? And you've been like, oh, thank God they're not in. Well, that's true. That was me. Okay. So anyway, I think I got to about the fourth door and it opened. And there was a lady. And I thought, oh God, this is it now. I've got to do it. So I just looked at her, smiled. By the way, I wasn't attired. I was just in ordinary nice clothes. And I just said, hello, I'm Lisa. I did have my card with me. Okay, and I had a name badge on. I always knew that a name badge was important because it said who you were. And I said, I'm doing a survey and it's just 4 questions I need to ask. And I wonder if you'd be so kind as to participate in the survey. And she said, what's the survey about? I said, well, the first question will give you an idea. Oh, go on then, she said. So I asked my 4 questions, which were basically the kind of thing that was on the win a mini form, 20k given form. And she said to me at the end, she went, it's interesting. So you don't do anything now, you book appointments. I said, yes. She said, oh, yeah, go on then. She said, you can book an appointment with me. And I said, oh, right. And you could have knocked me down with a feather because I was like all fingers and thumbs. So I'd kind of, I photocopied my diary. And so I booked an appointment. And I remember thinking, wow, that was only the 4th door and I've got an appointment. Anyway, I carried on, a few more not in, knocked a few, and I got 2 more appointments. And I'd got to about 20. And I remember thinking, well, 3 out of 20 isn't bad. I've got 3 appointments. I wasn't expecting this. And I'm not selling on the door because I'm making appointments, which in my mind seemed okay. Anyway, now I'm going to tell you that what happened. The next door could have been 21, 22. I go down the path. And it was one of those horrible overgrown places. And I remember thinking at the time, should I do this? Anyway, knock the door. And this door opens and it's on, on a chain. So I do my thing. And this person didn't even let me finish the sentence. And she went, no. And she shut the door. And I said, oh, well, that's okay then. Because that's just earned me £4. I turned round and I started walking back and she opened the door. She said, come here, young lady. What did you say? How have you just earned £4? And I said, well, because for every no, I get £4. How can you get £4 for no? What are you doing? I said, no, you're not interested. You said no, I'm happy with £4. Because what I'd done, I'd worked out my ratios. And that in 20, all the no's, if you took the final amount of what you'd earn, all the no's were actually worth a set amount of money. Are you with me here? Yeah? Have you got me? Yeah? Say yeah, yeah. So I was happy with this no, because I thought, you miserable old woman, I don't want to talk to you. Anyway, she opens the door, she takes the chain off, and she's now following me down the path to the gate and said, I want to do your survey. I did do the survey. She didn't have an appointment. But what it did for me was give me absolutely loads of belief. And I will now tell you that by the time I went out with this young door knocker, I went out with a lot more confidence because I'd done it, because I believe I can never ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. It's just my way. But what it did was that I got better at this. And sharing something with you, when I used to do my appointments, because you've got to remember, I was going full time at this. When I used to go and do an appointment, I would turn up about 10 minutes early on purpose. And I would do this same thing, like putting stuff out, sort of 10 doors one way and 10 doors the other way of where I was. And often that would then get me more appointments, because I'd be saying, oh, well, I'm actually seeing someone and reducing their bills for them at so-and-so. And it upped my activity. And so you could say there was success. Success from something that was very negative. And how did that happen? Because I did more of it. I only did more of it and I got better at it. All right, so it's a very short thing, but I've shown you stuff. I'm hoping that what this has done is going to inspire you to really look at that partner portal in the learning, scroll down and start looking at some of the things in there. You are going to be gobsmacked at how good it is. Right, I'm going to unmute you all and now ask if, how do I unmute? I've got mute all. Ask all to. Can you unmute everybody? Sorry, I'm useless at this stuff. Do you know, it's so proof, isn't it? You don't have to be that good. Okay, a question. Is it Dawn? Dawn?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, what was the 4 questions that you asked on that piece of paper?
Okay, the first one was, would you be open to looking at reducing your bills? The second one was, what bills do you hate the most? The third one was, are you a homeowner? Not much has changed. And the last one was, would you be open to earning an income? Really simple. It was so simple. It was really off the cuff stuff that I did. It was before there was all kinds of rules, by the way. I have to say this. There was all kinds of rules that were laid on. You have to do the way that the company says now through neighbour letters. There's all kinds of legal stuff around knocking on doors. This was a long time ago, about 15, maybe more years ago that I did that. But I think the biggest factor was I even attempted something that I was adamant I would never do. Okay, so I've been proven wrong. Okay, because we've all got these standards, haven't we, of what we say we'll do and we'll not do. Well, actually bringing in a door knocker actually changed my whole perception entirely, because in fact there was one, I'll share this with you. There was one lady, I knocked the door and she opened up and I did the survey and she went, oh darling, don't book an appointment, come on in. And I went, oh no, I can't do that. She said, what do you mean you can't do that? She said, I want to have a look at this. She said, come on, come and show me. Come on in. And you know what? I ended up signing her up for about 3 services, which we used to call multi-service in those days. And she is still my customer and she has referred me to about 4 other people. And it kind of said to me, I had all these kind of ideas of what was right and what was wrong. And I must admit, I kind of changed my perception, because actually the people that I did sign up through what I did were all very glad. And there's one, this is really nice. There was one that I did a door knock on and I got the appointment and it never happened for a month later. But when I did sign her up, she took 4 services. She then had a second home in London and I did 3 services there, broadband, energy, mobile. And she then in turn referred me to a lady right down in the West Country who is a team leader, but she brought in somebody that then came on to become a group leader and is actually going for senior group leader. Isn't that fascinating? And there was me saying I would never go out and knock on doors. Right, guys, was that helpful? Are you going to go and look at your partner portals? Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, I want to do something really special. I'm hoping the company doesn't change anything because it's a really good psychology exercise that we did at the Senior Group Leader Conference. It was amazing, and I want to share it with you. All right, because it's so good. It teaches a lot about ourselves, and it's a good thing to then do with your teams. Get them round. Okay, so I'm going to share something really, really good. But I thought that would be useful. And thank you ever so much for being there, because it does help to have someone to talk to. Right, guys. See
Thank
you all
you.
Thank you,
next
Lisa.
week, as ever. And hope to see some of you at the Bournemouth Buzz, because I need all the help I can get. I've got to take my 2 grandsons with me. And that will be fascinating because Albie is only 6. See you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.